Urvashi. I'm the maternal child well-being coach at Rosewalk Hospital, and I have with me Dr. R.G. Hola, who's the senior consultant neonatology and pediatrics at Rosewalk. Hi, sir.
Hello.
So today we will be talking about how to take care of your little one after birth during the hospital stay. So, sir, my first question to you is, how can a woman take care of a little one after birth?
So, the moment the baby is born, in the hospital, we are there in order to support uh, maximum contact between the mother and the baby. So, if the mother delivers by a normal process, we immediately put the baby on the mother's abdomen, and that initial contact between the mother and the baby goes a long way in ensuring long-term health of the baby. If the baby is born by a cesarean, again, once the baby is out from the mother's body, the baby is taken around and then after that put in contact with the mother's body. As soon as this is done, we also initiate breastfeeding as early as possible. So in a vaginal delivery, we would do it in the labor room itself, and in a cesarean delivery, we would do it as soon as the mother's surgery is over. Once the baby is shifted to the mother's side, we encourage the baby and the mother to have maximum contact with each other. It's obvious that after a cesarean delivery, a mother can't easily move around too much and handle the baby, and that's where we have our entire staff of nurses, doctors, and others who help in maximizing this contact between the baby and the mother. We also encourage the family members to be involved in this process of getting the mother and baby together to the maximum possible extent.
So that's exactly what my next question is going to be all about. That how can the family take care of not just the baby but also the mother?
So there are various aspects to a family's involvement. We do allow the father to be present during the delivery of the baby. And once the baby is shifted to the mother's side, we encourage the family members, of course in limited numbers. You know, with COVID going on, we don't want too many people to come and touch the baby, but the immediate family members, we encourage them to be involved in the care of the baby. So the first thing is that when the baby has to be put to the mother's breast, we also teach the family members how to hold the baby against the mother's body so that the mother and baby can breastfeed easily. Also, the first day after birth is also a time when usually there's a good news that a baby is born, so a lot of relatives arrive in hordes, and that's not always a very good thing because every person who brings blessings also can potentially bring infections with them. So the family members have a very strong role to play in looking after these social obligations of the family and giving the mother adequate amount of peace and quiet and isolation during this vulnerable transition stage. The third thing that happens is that you must understand that a baby comes from a dark cave where it's warm and very comfortable for the baby. All of a sudden he or she comes out into the world and there's a natural amount of crying and crankiness that happens in babies. The family members can go a long way in comforting the baby, giving care to the baby, giving kangaroo care to the baby, that is body to body contact between the baby and the family members so that the baby can be quiet, and that can spare the mother some energy and time for her to just concentrate on breastfeeding.
I think that's amazing because role of family is very, very important to make the journey beautiful for the mother and the baby. So sir, please also tell us about how parents can ensure that the baby gets sufficient feed, especially during the first 3 days in the hospital stay.
So if you look at the physiology of lactation, what happens is that initially the milk that comes out is known as colostrum. It comes out in small quantities, and what stimulates its production is frequently putting the baby to the breast. So we recommend that every 2 hours or so the baby should be put to the breast, and over the next 1 or 2 days, as the mother keeps putting the baby to the breast, the lactation is well established, and then after that the mature milk starts coming in. and that is the time when the baby becomes more demanding, and the baby sucks more vigorously and is able to extract more amount of milk. So I think the two or three most important things for a mother to take care of, the first is frequently putting the baby to the breast. The second is maximizing skin to skin contact. Even when the baby is not breastfeeding, having a good contact between the mother's body and the baby's body. And I think a third thing which is very, very important is calmness of her mind. Now, for a mother, it's not a very easy time to have gone through a delivery and then having the responsibility of looking after the baby. So calming the mother down is very important, and there the family again has a very big role to play.
Right. And the colostrum is sufficient for the baby. Parents don't have to worry about whether it's less in quantity, or if the baby is crying, does it mean that the baby is still hungry?
So under normal circumstances, babies who are born with those who are not sick, or those who are not born with a very low birth weight, for them colostrum is more than sufficient. There's no need of supplementing it or adding any other feeds to it. As I said, babies cry, and when babies get distressed because of any reason, they have a tendency to do a little bit of mouth movements, and that is often misinterpreted by the relatives as being a sign of hunger. So it's important for the family members to learn the skills of calming down a baby by giving maximum body contact, and not resorting to top feeding, and not resorting to satisfying a baby's hunger every time a child cries.
Right. So what would be the do's and the don'ts when the baby cries?
So when the baby cries, I think the most important do is body contact. About, I would say, 80 to 90% of the time, babies cry because they just don't want to lie down on the bed. They want to be picked up by somebody. So there is something known as kangaroo care, which can be provided by any family member, where they recline and the baby is kept on the person's chest, and that contact with the body, hearing the breathing sounds, hearing the heart sounds by the baby, it calms down the baby. Quite often you have to look into other aspects, whether the baby has got very tight clothing, overclothing, underclothing, whether there's a wet diaper, whether there's a blocked nose. So if these things are looked into, most of the time it's possible to calm down a baby. We do have some parents who are a little nervous in handling the baby, especially first time parents, and there we provide them with sort of, we teach them how to hold the baby, how to care for the baby, how to give kangaroo care, and in the majority, we are very successful in teaching the parents what to do. Don'ts. The don'ts are: don't assume that every crying is hunger. Don't reward every crying with additional food, because you may end up overfeeding the baby and also at the same time stressing out the mother to breastfeed more frequently, and then leading to other complications. So maintain a minimum gap, carry the baby around, try to quieten down the baby without resorting to feeding, and within a few days the babies generally tend to calm down.
Right. So if you're a new parent, or if you're planning to deliver your baby anytime soon, don't forget to follow these tips to enjoy an easy transition into early parenthood, especially during the first 3 days after the birth of your baby. Stay fit, stay healthy. Dr. R.J. Ola is available for consultation at Rosewalk Hospital, and don't forget to visit us at Rosewalk.